Okay. Right. Hello and welcome to Monday's stream for Pokemon Shield. Wheelchair, sort yourself out, please. There we go. Hi, Suzu. Discord is open as normal. Because since when was it not? What's the thing? There we go. So, I have finally managed to deal with the missing Pokemon we had. Anyway, six. Oh yeah, there it is, Feebas. Waiting to evolve. So yeah, hi Susie. So our Pokedex, now sitting at 394 caught, 395 seen. The 5 missing Pokemon are 2 Pokemon we haven't been able to see yet, and another one. I'll say 2. 3 groups of Pokemon which we haven't been able to have seen yet. And the other one is an evolution that we haven't been able to get to yet. Right, so we can nickname these new Pokemon.
What have we got?
A Cursula. And it's male.
You know what? I have no idea.
Yeah, I have not really got a thing for this thing as well. Oops, the wrong button.
Whoops.
Just trying to think, what do you want to call this thing? Just going to call it Lost. Then we have a Clefable.
Woohoo!
What are we going to call her?
Charla.
How should I put caps on? Okay. Next is Durampa.
Trump is a weird one. I really don't know.
I can't really work out that much either. Meatloaf. Now that's one of the dragons in How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay. Fair enough.
Sableye, it's a girl.
This is tough.
Uh-huh. Hey, TA.
Hey, TA.
Jimuncha. Okay. How are you doing anyway, TA? And then we have, I think, one more Pokemon. Because I named Mimikyu Pikachu.
Yes, you did.
Because that's the only name you can ever really give it.
Yeah, that is completely bloody true.
Right, and then we have a Feebas to nickname as well.
Nobody likes you.
Too many letters. Sorry. Sushi. Yeah.
I didn't even look at chat and I was about to say sushi.
But how are you there, TA? How is Suzy?
Tired. I'm actually really tired.
Wrong thing. Oh yeah, I did just post in the Discord, but we have every single Gigantamax Pokemon apart from 4 available in raids now on the boosts.
Oh.
Between both versions. So yeah, Pikachu, Meowth, Eevee and Melmetal are the only ones we can't get.
Okay.
But basically every other Gigantamax Pokemon is boosted now.
Sweet.
Those that were version exclusive for their boost are still version exclusive.
Alright.
So, pop you down there, because, yes. Yeah. What you been up to, TA? There's there. Because, yeah, the only evolutions that we need to do now are Feebas, Zweilous, and one Pokemon which we haven't had access to yet.
What was it again? Nope, it's gone.
I mean, why am I not surprised it's gone?
Exactly. As I said, I am very tired for some reason.
Yeah. It's just been a weird day. A lot of Animal Crossing, Skyrim, Minecraft. You make anything cool in any of those? And how's Doggo?
I know that TA's been freaking out Noya on Animal Crossing. Noya found TA's wardrobe. And one of them is called Spooky, I believe. Okay.
I mean, I think anyone would be terrified of the sort of things TA would keep.
Yeah, it's called Spooky, and it's basically her dressing up as a character from Saw. Not Saw. Oh, one of them, I think. I don't know.
I mean, TA would have an outfit which is all stabby based. But what about kitties?
They're both asleep in bed right now.
Aww. I bet they're not as adorable as yesterday, though.
No.
That was just so adorable of them yesterday, being like, yeah, we're just going to cuddle up pretty much all the time.
They tried to do that today, but it was just failure after failure after cuddle failure. I just thought, for the love of God, girls, please.
Just adorable little kitties.
They will be.
No, wait. Yeah, I just like adorable little kitties. That's, you know, a cool thing is a cool thing, so...
Also, 1st of June means the start of Pride Month. So,
Yeah, I've seen like there's been a lot of anger about a certain thing that's happened.
Yes. It relates to what's currently going on in America.
No,
Oh,
it's to do with what's been happening over here for a bit.
wait, what?
So a lot of Pride merchandise got repurposed into the NHS merchandise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like a lot of Pride organisations are not happy because the particular rainbow that's being used for the Thank You NHS stuff is technically the Pride one.
No way. I
Yeah.
didn't actually know that.
Yeah, shops when it was when they were going to lockdown, it was clear that like Pride events were being cancelled and everything.
Yeah.
They'd had all this merchandise made up and whatnot, and it just got like modified for the which is why there's been calls out against the fact that shops say they're all in support and whatnot. All they're doing is supporting their own pockets with the commercialisation of Pride. And as some have even said, that if they really did care, they wouldn't have sold this stuff under rebrandings and whatnot.
No, they wouldn't have.
Because bear in mind, shops order these things months in advance.
Yeah.
So they would have been sitting with all of this stuff in stock, which wouldn't really be sold this year. So yeah, that's happened.
I didn't actually know that. I mean, I admit, I have bought some Pride merchandise while in lockdown. But that was only just like another Pride flag to hang in my window.
Yeah.
And a bracelet, which is really cool. I really like it.
But yeah, like a lot of the stuff has been sold as like show your support for the NHS and whatnot.
Oof. Yeah, I would be mad as well, actually.
Yeah. Well, again, it's all why people are calling for the sort of crackdown on the commercialisation of it. Because, I get that. It is a case of, look, commercialisation is not... That isn't going to help.
No, it's not.
So...
I mean, as it is, there's like small shops that do like Pride. They're literally just based on that. For example, there's one that I buy things from.
Oh yeah, but I'm obviously speaking like the more mass market side.
But it also means that they're pretty much losing out on money because people are just being butts and Melia, will you jump over the rail?
Completely different subject.
Yeah. Trying to get over a rail. Jump in the ocean!
Is Doggo okay, TA? I just want to just...
Yeah.
You know what? I might volunteer to NASA to be one of the people they send to Mars. Just be like, look, I've had enough of this planet. I'm out of here.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
No, wait, why do I want to go to Mars? It always gets demon infested.
Or that weird episode of Doctor Who that ended really, really sad.
Yeah, let's also not forget how many alien invasions come from Mars.
Oh, hello. That was a crack and a half. Oh.
So... one thing you may have appreciated, which I saw last week, got to mention. On Legends of Tomorrow, they had an entire episode about being stuck in different types of TV episodes.
Oh my god, yeah.
So they had one based on like, they had like a sitcom thing, eh? Hey Travis. Yeah, I know, that is crazy. How are you doing? While and Travis were replying there. Yeah, so some of them got stuck in like a take on like like the sitcom things like Friends and whatnot.
Yeah.
Another couple was stuck in a British period drama, which was ironically called Hightown Abbey. Although they incorrectly said, because they said, I don't want to be stuck in some British BBC period drama.
Oh, God.
They got the wrong channel.
They did.
And that, wait, I just realised. Because it aired on BBC America.
Oh.
Because
For us it was ITV, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, because remember, the international channels from the BBC have to function independently. They're not allowed to receive taxpayers' money. When I say taxpayers, the licence fee money. No, they also air Star Trek on it. Surprised they'd be airing Star Trek.
What era Star Trek, out of curiosity? Because I kind of want BBC America now.
Well, bear in mind, it's the whole point is to put British TV shows out in America.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, BBC.
Pretty dramas.
But yeah, BBC America but it has to fund itself basically, and like I say, any overseas BBC channel. Because if they're not a UK BBC thing, they have to run from, advertising and whatnot. So that's the thing. If we went outside this country and watched a BBC channel, we're going to be like, wait, ad breaks? With non-BBC adverts?
Yep.
Yeah. Like I say, it's weird because, like I say, the whole thing is they buy up a lot of the, the rights to air the British shows over in America or whatever country they're in, because I think there's like 20 international BBC channels or something like that. But yeah, so they had that. And then the third show was Space Trip, which was basically a Star Trek rip-off. So they had like really silly versions of the uniforms.
Oh my god.
Where they were all wearing really short shorts as well.
Oh yeah, I can see why they did that.
Yeah. Over emotional when random characters die, and it's just like, wait, this happens all the time because they were wearing red shirts. Oh, and they were attacked by a species known as the Klingon.
Oh god.
Yeah. It was done obviously in the retro, the OG series.
Yeah.
So we had one of the characters channeling Shatner.
Was he pausing like every...
She.
Oh, she.
Yeah.
Was she pausing like every 1 second?
Every few words and overemphasizing a lot of bits.
Yep. That's Shatner. That is Shatner.
And then Spock was also the other character being parodied.
Oh.
So yeah, it was funny.
I have a feeling that
Then BBC America Week. Yeah, well, like I say, obviously I've not ultimately seen too much of any of BBC America. I just know that Doctor Who gets broadcast on it, Top Gear gets brought over on it, and like I say, I remember it being mentioned about Downton going across to give our BBC America because it's won awards in America, and when it's from what clips I've seen of the American awards shows, they list it as BBC America for the place, not ITV.
Wait a second. Deep Space Nine. Travis, I'm coming to the US. Hey, Deep Space Nine is a really good stuff.
No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just 7 hours of it. At least, because it could have been going on earlier.
That's a good solid 7. But sci-fi sometimes does things like that.
Yeah, but obviously there's just like... How many episodes are there for DS9?
Oh my god. Well, there's 7 series.
Okay. So what, 26 or so episodes a season?
I believe so. Hold on.
Travis says something like 250 episodes.
Yeah, it's 176.
176. So, like, at least 7 hours of that is still a good chunk of the episodes. They will rip through them pretty quickly.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I remember when Sky were doing 2 Stargate episodes a day. Originally, they'd only do 1 a day on the repeats, but then they moved it to 2 a day because when Stargate hit, 200 episodes. So, and that was just for SG-1. Once you then throw in Atlantis and Universe, that's a lot more. Okay, Dusk Noir. What?
So, the final episode of Deep Space Nine would have aired tomorrow. About 11 years ago.
Tomorrow from 1 PM to 3 PM is World War II documentaries, then Hunt for Red October, then Robin Hood. Yeah, but like I say, it was just surprising, as I mentioned about it's just surprising that they air Star Trek, because it had nothing to do with any British production.
No.
Beyond maybe the odd British cast member, but that's it.
I mean, TNG was the heaviest with British cast members.
Yeah, but it wasn't a British-made show.
CBS, I believe.
I mean, it should still be the same people nowadays anyway. I don't believe the rights probably have changed.
I think so.
Yeah, they know Star Trek's safe to air. Yeah. I mean, they could just air Doctor Who on repeats. That would be probably enough. I mean, they've got like 900 episodes of Doctor Who they can pull from.
They can't.
Okay, not quite 900 because of the lost episodes and whatnot, but...
Yeah. Sad.
Doctor Who, then... it'll be the other way around over here, though.
I can take both.
But like I say, my thing was Stargate, so... So 2 years ago, you probably have seen Capaldi then, if it was going on the most recent Doctor at the time, unless it was an older series. Let's see. I see. I was born the year the original run of Doctor Who ended, and missed it out by not very long either. Also, fun fact: the very first episode of Doctor Who aired the same day JFK was assassinated, or the day after, because the news basically overshadowed the very first episode of Doctor Who. Actually, yeah, where are you going there? Excuse me. So,
that was it.
Yeah, the first... Here we go. Oh, no, that date I just saw is actually how many episodes we've had in total. So yeah, 23rd of November, 1963. For the very first episode.
Okay, so it's 861 episodes and 97 omnis.
Whereas... Oh no, I was actually 1 month old when the last episode aired. Maybe Mum just missed that one. Those last ones because of me being around. But 6th of December 89 was the very last episode. Actually now makes me want to know what was the episode on around my birth. Oh, they just began the Cursor Fenric storyline. Episode 1 had aired and episode 2 was about to. Yeah, you see, I saw the original... I saw the Stargate film on the BBC. And like a year later, Channel 4 started airing the show. Yeah, and like I think also like the whole... Probably what really caught me a bit more with Stargate than... Like, I could never get into Star Trek even though I was into Star Wars. Is, yeah, obviously Star Wars, all super high fantasy future stuff. I just didn't really believe the Star Trek sort of fantasy and whatnot, where obviously Stargate was obviously a bit more grounded. Like, I could legitimately see there being some alien device locked up under a US mountain.
I'm kind of curious, what version of, what series of Star Trek did you watch?
Bits of Next Generation, because obviously that was on right after Robot Wars.
Yeah.
Then I think they also shifted on to DS9. And then just as Robot Wars sort of ended, Voyager was going.
Voyager's a pretty good one, I won't lie about that one.
But again, and then I did see a little bit of Enterprise, because it did air back-to-back with Stargate on Sky.
I won't lie, Enterprise to me actually has one hell of a good...
Ironically, see, that's the funny thing, like, I see when Linkara brings it up, how he calls Archer the worst captain.
No, Archer was pretty damn
yeah, but he is referring to the main ones, though.
Yeah,
He does note that expanded material does have worse. But then, like, when he's obviously only referring to Kirk, Picard, whoever the guy was in charge of DS9, Janeway, and then Archer, it's not much of a list.
I can never... Cisco, that's it.
See, because the thing is, like, when that, you know, like when you only have a list of 5, sometimes saying the worst is not necessarily meaning they're that bad. It's just they're up against stiff competition.
To be honest, from best to worst from me would be... Oh, blimey. Best being Janeway, then it goes Picard, Cisco, Archer, Kirk.
I still love one line from Stargate, though. When they first get a spaceship... Oh, yeah, that one. I was going to come to the time loop episode. That's always a good one in Stargate to get people in on. So yeah, Travis is bringing up because in one episode, Colonel O'Neill and Teal'c get stuck in a Groundhog Day scenario.
Oh my god!
And so we enter the montage of them just constantly doing silly things and whatnot. And one episode, and at one point, General Hammond is in the control room yelling, "Colonel O'Neill, what do you think you're doing?" And it's, "I'm in the middle of a backswing." Because he and Teal'c were using the Stargate to play golf. So they turned it on and were just whacking balls in. It's a brilliant episode. Even if you've never seen any other episode, it's probably the best one to start people on. It's it's one of the early seasons as well.
Oh my god.
I mean, time loop episodes are a kind of a trope in sci-fi shows.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember...
There's one in TNG.
Yeah, well, Travis says there's TN... Yeah. Oh, wait, there's something else.
Fun one, actually.
Yeah. No, sorry, I misread what Travis was saying, but yeah, it's like time loop episodes are a common thing because like even Legends of Tomorrow did it. They had their time loop episode, and right afterwards, ironically, the thing was to the crew member who caused it and was stuck in the time loop was, so you broke time? Yep. Kind of a rite of passage around here. Yeah. In a show about reject superheroes travelling through time, it's kind of appropriate that the rite of passages everyone makes. Yeah, that's what they did in Legends of Tomorrow as well. That after like an hour, the Wave Rider would explode.
Oh yeah, I know what's happening.
So they obviously based that story on that.
Because what would happen in TNG was they would start off with them having a poker game, then things would go wrong. One of them would notice that they're repeating things over and over again.
Yeah. Oh, in this case, the one who was caught in the time loop would be coming back when they're getting yelled at by the ship's captain for basically not being helpful and whatnot. And then someone falling over and would normally hit them in the face.
Oh my god.
So they then step out the way and whatnot after a bit. And then it all turns out that this was all in her head.
Wow.
Because because it started off when they were doing maintenance on the time travelling machinery itself.
Yeah.
And they got blasted in the face with some liquid. And so they thought that liquid is what let them be stuck in this time loop. Turned out no, they had just ended up unconscious and they were in the med bay and the ship's computer had projected into their head.
Oh god.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'll try bearing that in mind, Travis. Oh, wait, I didn't want this one. Yeah, don't worry, I'm pretty good with that stuff as well. But yeah, because the whole thing with the Wave Rider, its computer had been upgraded with like time projection technology, so it could predict the future to a degree. And to complete the mission they were trying to do, this person who had been stuck in the loop, who was the newest member of the crew and had kind of kept themselves socially isolated from the rest and whatnot, and not really a true part of the crew. The computer had gone, yeah, in every future where you're not working actually with them, you all are going to fail. So this is my way to make you care about them and whatnot. Yeah, it's also a good way of getting one of the getting the person who does the voice of the computer to appear in the show.
Oh, for me, Travis, it would have to be Q.
Obviously, I don't really know, so I think one of the most menacing things I think I can ever see is the replicators.
Yeah, that's further.
So I can't really get in on that, but like with Stargate, replicators were just the menacing thing.
John Delancey as Q. Yeah. There was times during Deep Space Nine where I was watching it, and then because Sci-Fi would do like 2 episodes, I mean they would always do it so the second episode would be a cliffhanger, so you would have to wait for the next day. And there'll be times where I'm just watching it, I'm just like, it's freaking him! It's freaking him! Especially with the episode where he's dressed as a Bajoran. Basically getting in the way of a lot of things. That episode. Yeah, seven episodes of him being a Bajorian. I just wanted to yell at the TV screen. It's not! He's not a nice guy! Oh yeah. That, in all fairness, that woman I really did want to throw in the face. But that was life.
Why didn't they just blast them out the airlock?
Oh, I wish there was moments.
No, what I was going to say is like one bit like they had a good Star Trek reference in Stargate when they got their spaceship. It literally the first line from Carter to O'Neill was, "Sir, we are not calling this the Enterprise." Well, when you look at it though, Travis, the replicators, sort of the way they evolved the replicators. I mean, although when you also learn that the replicators that we had in Atlantis were the original ones, actually makes the ones we got in the main universe, in obviously the main series, actually more interesting. And also like the history on the Milky Way and the whichever galaxy the Asgard were from, replicators, because they were just a child's toy that went out of control. And when you actually look back at it, that child, because they had the ability to create the blocks, had to have been a replicator which was of the type seen in the Pegasus galaxy. Yeah, I was getting to that bit. So, yeah. Well, the child was introduced before Atlantis was established. So... because the child was introduced like season 4? But yeah, like, it makes an interesting sort of evolution that the replicators that basically threatened all of existence were just a toy that went out of control. Yeah, but I mean, like, I could see that her being created was purely like I mean, look, we know that the ancients had a habit of experimentations and trying to perfect things. So I could easily have seen like one or two of the ancients that returned from Pegasus trying to perfect the replicator technology that they left behind in the Pegasus galaxy. You know, and she was that development, and then obviously, well, the ancients became the jerks they were. Yeah. But I think the insectoid look on the... yeah, exactly. But yeah, the insectoid replicators, I think, were actually much more menacing than the human-looking ones. Because you'd hear, because they, especially like being a fan of the xenomorph and whatnot, like just hearing them scuttling around in the vents and whatnot. And the fact that it only took one replicator, or even, just part of a replicator to survive, and the whole infestation starts again. It was the crazy bit. I mean, yeah, the humanoid ones were made of nanites. Yeah, but yeah, but like I say, yeah. You'd think ones made of nanites would be much scarier, but the bug ones being made out of blocks, I think also it's because they don't look like anything natural as well. So yeah. And when you also think like how much damage they did to a like how much damage they did to something like the to the Asgard, such a technologically advanced species, and they were powerless against them. Well, don't forget the Yeah, that's what they're saying. Yeah, because the Asgard's cloning problem was kind of their undoing. So, although I did love that twist in the final season of Atlantis, where we had a rogue group of Asgard, because I was actually sad when the ones we knew died by blowing their own planet up to stop the Ori. Because they were basically the only species around that stood a chance. So yeah. Well, remember the Asgard had their whole non-technologic, not providing weapons to people scenario, even though they then gave Earth their entire database. Yeah, but I don't know. It's minor, but I guess also it's just to stop Earth in just outright using the weapons and blowing themselves to pieces. You're going to have our weapons. You got to build it yourself so you appreciate it. So, but yeah, I mean, Atlantis I was really looking forward to where they'd go next with Atlantis, especially. Yeah, the story. Yeah, and it really would have dealt with the Atlantis problem even easier because, yeah, Atlantis wouldn't have always been able to keep itself going back and forth because it would run out of power in the ZPMs quickly, and even the Earth ships need a ZPM to make that distance. I mean, look back at the season 10 opener, where we had that, Yeah, exactly. They would be hopping back and forth to Pegasus without problem. So... Yes, obviously one Earthship got completely refitted. But that's just one Earthship. Yeah, something like that. Although you have to remember the Odyssey, I believe it was, with all the Asgard upgrades, would be vastly superior to anything else in the Earth arsenal. Because the way they sort of put it, at least in the books is a purpose-built F304 with all the Asgard enhancements, which we never actually got to see in the show. Yeah, exactly. And that was an F303. Because that was the Pegasus. 304 is the thing. Oh, it's the thing. 304 is the Daedalus, the Odyssey, Phoenix, the Sun Tzu, and the General Hammond. I had to think Phoenix and the General Hammond were the same one. Just from the alternating timelines. Well, you've got to bear in mind, the Asgard obviously were part of that alliance with the Ancients. So, the way I see it is the Asgard, Asgard just continue. Yeah, exactly. The Asgard Ancients, the Furli, or you pronounce it, I can never remember how to pronounce their name. And whichever one the fourth one was, who had the invisible city. They obviously would have shared Furlings, that's it. The ones who got spoofed being Ewoks. The Nox, that's it. But yeah, they will share, be established in the episode where we found out about, because where we had that guy who went through the Stargate years before during the experiments with it, and they learnt about the Grand Alliance of different races, where I think it was Daniel even said that they'd share knowledge of pretty much anything with each other. So and obviously they said everything, pretty much anything, so that would mean like technology would be shared with each other and whatnot, at least like the basis of it. So Asgard being that technologically advanced, pretty much, yeah. So Asgard being that technologically advanced is because they've had all those years to follow on from the Ancients, and why the Ori were incredibly dangerous as well, because so the Ori were incredibly dangerous because, likewise, obviously, because their technological route being the same as the Ancients, just obviously they just continue evolving it as well. Yeah, so it sort of shows like how much like just evolving each other's tech. Although I still think the Ancients did develop probably one of the most OP weapons in sci-fi. As much as a Death Star is ridiculous, with its, well, not necessarily the Death Star itself, but weapons that can just blow a planet up casually are ridiculous. The ancient drone platform weapons, because those drones, they could rip an entire fleet apart, and you've used up, and like those drones could survive it, and they ignored your shields. I'm going to save again, so I want to make certain I don't accidentally KO this thing. Oh wait. Oh, I did that because I don't. Yeah, exactly. But like the drones were ridiculously OP. So... I think we do get a hint of like older star weapons on an ancient ship in Atlantis where they find that really old one. So, and even the the Destiny. Considering how old the Destiny is, it was armed. Though the Destiny was a bit too beaten up, that was the only problem. Yeah. I mean, the Destiny, I really like the idea of what they started doing in universe with, like, like, this is how the Stargates were placed. Like, we see the... Yeah. Obviously, like, Atlantis sort of was almost the peak of their development. So... Oh, yeah. Tolan. Wait, which one was... I cannot remember which one Tolan was right now. Oh! Oh, the advanced humans. I mean... Ah, yes. I mean, it makes sense that someone else would eventually work out how to reverse engineer the Stargate and be able to build their own. So... yeah. Okay, just want to pause off from that and bring up here. We are at the point of sword and shield that I do not like. Yeah, it's true. But it depends like how easy it is to build your own Stargate compared to building a ship. So, I don't know. Yeah, Anubis was kind of a big jerk. So, I'm just going to keep saving because I don't want to make certain that... Yeah, it kind of was. I mean, the same also when we got into the Ori arc and the destruction of, or the conquering of Jonas's homeworld and how it was how it was pretty much stated he died to them. Yeah, there was a kind of some short endings done on bits. But yeah, what I'm saying with the story is they just throw Eternatus into this part of the game for no reason. I like how he talks about us seeing a red light when that previous Dynamax incident happened. We never saw any of it. There is just a bit of... This is why this part is just... the part I just don't like that much. Like, everything was about the mystery of the sword and the shield. And yet, all of a sudden, oh yeah, by the way, here's a thing called Eternatus. Okay, what about it? It's a thing. Yeah, it really is a... It is the big problem with this part. Clang. Let's keep this out. Yeah, it was a pity when all the shows got cancelled. So, yeah, or one of the off-world complexes, because obviously we had like a couple of, joint off-world sort of bases / colony things. So we had a mix of Jafar, Tok'ra, and a couple of other bits, on different bases and whatnot. And then we had that species who were not keen about humans mining on their world initially until the deal was made. So I was not paying attention to what came out. Persica. So yeah, there was possibilities. Yeah. So yeah, even if it wasn't on Earth, it could have been like one of the off-world locations that Earth was heavily linked with. In fact, what I really would have liked to have seen is like this whole integration of the different societies, actually sort of like setting up on a planet like a big hub between them. So I mean, obviously, especially like we saw the start of like a mending between like how the Tok'ra and the Jafar were getting on, because obviously the whole Tok'ra were just more of a moral stance for members of the Gould rather than being a separate species in their own right. But yeah, like there were some possibilities. I mean, it would have been interesting to see where they would have gone if given the chance. Yeah, I mean that was a key time travel plot in the series. Yeah, although they did kind of get them to dial a black hole. So they were remember they were given. When they were given a list of Stargate addresses, it was first one was a black hole, and then it just went downhill from there. Well, they'd been to many planets. I don't know if they were on that many planets at that time. So, because I thought the whole thing was they moved from planet. In my head, it was they moved from planet to planet, claiming all the resources of it. Yeah, they claim the resources, move on to another world, sort of thing. That's how my head remembers it. Yeah. But I guess obviously, if like the main leadership was gone, it kind of leaves everyone else to do what they wanted. So, but geez, also, I will also point out the amount of times they relied on a black hole for certain actions. So jumping gate, exploding suns, time travel, yep. It also makes me think about one thing Carter said in, I think it was like season 8 or 9. It was, you blow up a sun and everyone expects you to be able to, do something else. And then she does the thing she was trying to do, and it was like, next, parting the Red Sea. Just... So I also remember like the one thing that they brought that up as well in Atlantis when McKay accidentally blew a sun up by experimenting with an ancient weapon facility, and it was a case of Carter blows up a sun and she's viewed as a hero. I blow a sun up and I'm the villain. I mean, context around it. Because Carter blew a sun up to wipe out a... Yeah, well... I mean, also, Carter blew a sun up in order to wipe out a Gould fleet and replicators, whereas McKay, he had become obsessed with an ancient experiment and got a little crazy, so... yeah, context. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, that also kind of, as well. I want to swap to you. Also, the sometimes the crazy scenarios that they ended up in. We blew up we blew up a wraith ship, and we jumped a Stargate, destroyed an Ori ship by blowing up a wraith ship. Right, yeah, as I was saying, to this thing, never hinted at in the story prior to this. Well, he blew up Ancients stuff, but yeah. When Tilt was invisible, yeah. They had all sorts of fun with... They really, you know, embraced like the craziness of some of the sci-fi things they wanted to do. Yeah, I know, I want to go back and rewatch a lot of it. I have had on my Amazon wish list for a long time all 10 seasons of SG-1's DVD box set. So I used to have some of the odds and ends, but kind of lost them. But I want to like really get back and have the entire collection again. Oh yeah, it's good when you... Yeah, episodes 100 and 200 are probably are also brilliant for them poking fun at themselves and whatnot.
Also, thank you for giving me Christmas and birthday ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like... Yeah, they have a lot of... the thing I loved about episode 200 was we need a big twist that no one was seeing coming. In walks a character who had left the show previously, like something like this, and it was there'll be it was whatever it was. It was like and basically the end result was it will be in the trailers. Cue that thing being in the trailers. Yeah, I loved how they parodied themselves in universe. I mean, I love it when a show does something like that. That they know that they got some ridiculous premise that they can make fun of themselves. Oh wow, we just knocked Eternatus in one hit. Yep. Yeah, puppets through a Stargate in the street. But I do have to... There is one bit about that scene that bugs me, though. How did they walk through the Stargate if their strings get cut because they went through it? Because technically their strings would get caught on top of the gate. So they wouldn't even be able to get into it.
Magic.
Yeah. It's just the one bit of that scene that bugs me on it. Yeah, exactly. It's just like I said, there's that one little bit that's like... I mean, I know obviously the whole bit is just meant to poke a little bit of fun, but it just is that little bit of... yeah. Yeah, well, it can close with something in it, remember? Because episode 3 They use it to cut someone's head. They use it to cut someone's head off. Yeah. But again, they were just brilliant than being able to make fun of themselves. Yeah. I know, because it was always that weird bit of, why did the Earthgate have to return while none of the others did? I do wish more shows, especially sci-fi ones, that have had a long enough running, would do silly things like that and just take the mick of themselves. So, it's yeah. I mean, Hammond's actor was, was actually pretty cool. So, oh, how I wish we could use this form of Eternatus in game. Yeah, because for like being like self-aware and whatnot, I remember how many years ago, like roughly 7 or so years ago, because I obviously watching the Super Sentai franchise, they hit their 35th anniversary. And for the anniversary, alongside doing a main tribute series to all the previous ones, they also did a spoof series as well, as a mini series thing they released online, where the entire thing was just ripping the mick out of their own franchise. It was brilliant. No, Akiba Ranger did not get adapted. Are you speaking of the individual episode arc where... Yeah, the Akiba Ranger bits, yeah, where they actually made a joke about the Power Ranger adaptations. Fun thing was, they did do an Akiba Ranger version in the SH Figuarts line of Green Ranger, and he came with the spoof parts in there, so he had like the the red and white striped collar pieces and whatnot, and other bits to make him look like his spoof version. Yeah, they unfortunately because some of the SH Figuarts did get released in the States. This is while they still made Super Sentai Figuarts. They've kind of stopped doing that because everyone in Japan was just importing the American figures, so they kind of gave up on that. But they did release the Green Ranger one in America, but they took out the spoof parts because no one would have known what that was in reference to, which I think is a bit of a disappointment, because I would have loved the fact that if they left those joke parts in. Although I do admit, oof, that would hurt. There goes the shield up again. No. There's just some cool things that they could have done. But like looking now, obviously, because Bandai of America really decided to just cut corners with figures in the end. I mean, the only reason like Japanese people were buying the US figures was because Bandai Japan was not going that far with their figures. They were just like, yeah, here's your basic version of a figure, whereas at least Bandai of America had all the different action ones and whatnot, even though, like I say, towards the end they were really not as good quality as they used to be. Well, there goes our mole. The, like, Hasbro's figures that have now come out they look so incredible. I didn't have that many, which is a pity. I never had that many of them. Although I do have, I did import some Japanese things. Obviously over the last few years. Although I do have the Legacy Collection Megazord in the black and gold colour scheme. And the Dragon Zord, and then in the same scheme. Though I only have regular Titanus. So, yeah. Wow, we're low on Pokeballs. Yeah, well, again, Hasbro were just... No, sorry, so Bandai just sort of, like I say, started cutting corners and whatnot. Yeah, well, to be precise, what happened initially was Saban, well, the contract of Bandai of America to make the toys was up. Saban signed a deal with Hasbro for them to take over as the toy manufacturer, and then Hasbro decided to actually purchase it outright. So when Beast Morphers started production, it was still under Saban for the production, but then Hasbro sort of came in as the ones in charge. Not that far into production though, so... But yeah, Hasbro purchased the entire franchise outright. Hasbro still own it. Yeah. I mean, actually, the reason he got it back from Disney for so cheap was... This is a kind of ironic. At the time, Saban had said to Disney that the show would be airing on The Hub, which was a kids' TV channel that Hasbro ran at the time. And, well, the channel wasn't doing so well in ratings and whatnot. So Disney sold it to him at a lower price than what they initially would have sold it to him at. So, yeah. And then, obviously, he ended up partnered with Nickelodeon for broadcasting. So in the end, the show did end up with Hasbro. Yeah, I know, it was... Well, it wasn't... It's not just 512 million. They bought... Like, Saban got a load of shares as well and a few other things. So it's not all in money. It wasn't all in cash, you know, sort of thing. It was in a few different things. Right. Let's see. But yeah, like the Lightning Collection figures look amazing. Because they... Yeah, he made a lot on it, so... Yeah, like I was saying though, the Lightning Collection figures are incredible. Because obviously, like, the best way to... Yeah, although again, it's... Yeah, like I said, it is a crazy thing. And then don't forget, like, all the extra money that was made with the deal with Boom Studios for the comics, which have been doing really well. So... But, like, if you want to... I'm just saying, like, with the comparison between Hasbro and Bandai's treatment of the toys... if you look at what they did for the figures, some of the figures, particularly, like I said, towards the end of Hasbro, so the Bandai run. Yeah, I know. There is some backstage stuff I'm aware of that's been said, so... I mean, one thing that was brought up, because, like, a good thing to watch, I don't know if you've ever seen, is done by Linkara, or like if you just search atop the fourth wall. Wait, no, I've got the wrong Pokemon up first. Yeah, so I take it you've seen the History of Power Ranger series he's been doing. Yeah, so yeah, obviously, like him, obviously bringing up the reoccurring thing that came up at one point of, because they wanted to cut corners on costs, it was, let's just dub the Sentai, which sometimes I think would have been a better choice. Yeah, so... But, like I was saying with figures, compare Lord Dracon. The Lord Dracon figure's done. Bandai released it for a ridiculously high price, and people found it was just not that good quality. Like, they were using cheap plastic. The colour work on it wasn't that good and whatnot. And they even used a really bad gold for it. And then Hasbro had put a figure out, and, you know, for a fraction of the price, and you'd have thought the prices on the two should have been the other way around. So, I mean, I want to get as soon as it's available. Oh yeah, you can sell. You make a good toy, it will sell. Like, I'm looking at buying the Ranger Slayer figure, because that's another thing I'm really loving that Hasbro is just throwing out. No, I don't think I ever saw them. I've been also wanting to get some of the Star Wars Black Series figures, because I know there's a Revan one, and I really want that. Plus, I did see some images for like a new generation of Black Series figures, and they've got quite a bit of like the Rebels and Clone War characters being done. Okay, yeah, I never really had much in the way of figures when I was younger. Mostly just Lego. Aegis slash, Aegis slash, Aegis slash. So yeah, like, main thing I wanted to say was Lego.
I had quite the collection of Doctor Who figures.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I did when I was little, because I had the old metal Thunderbird toys. And I've mentioned this to Susie before.
Yes.
So I had a Thunderbird 4. Again, this was a tiny Thunderbird 4 because it was meant to fit in Thunderbird 2's pod. And the engines were the width of like the 2-prong sockets. So like the sort of style you would have in America. Because I had a lamp that had an adapter on it. So you had a normal UK wall socket, and then it went to the 2-prong adapter, which could unplug. And me being like 6, I want to say, somewhere around there, I saw that the holes in one bit was the same size as the same width apart as Thunderbird 4's engines. I think you can see where this is going.
I remember the day you told me this story.
Yeah. Yeah, I shoved the prongs in, and then well, basically took out the entire electrics in the house. So, yeah. Little me was interested in science.
Little me was interested in ending up in hospital.
Well, these were pure metal, these ones, so... Not necessarily starting a fire, but it definitely was not a nice thing. No, again, not really, so... I don't know, maybe it's just like the way rules have been over this side of the Atlantic between, all the Europe region compared to America, because we've always sort of had slightly different rules. So, I mean, yeah, it's... I do remember someone owning, someone owning a Furby, and I would always get a static shock from it.
Yeah, God, that is a sign that they are evil.
Yeah.
I'm glad to say I never owned one.
I was about to say, what did he use Iron Tail? Okay. Damn it, it must be... Oh, jeez. Just no. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm just like...
No, why would you do that?
Can I just say, this is just fueling my belief that people who live in America have a death wish.
It's either that or they're trying to get natural selection out of time.
Yeah. Ah, Leon, you have good taste in Pokemon.
And alcohol.
Yep. Yeah, it's... That's crazy how some things go. I just love how this entire stream has pretty much ended up with us talking about completely irrelevant things from Pokemon. It's brilliant. Love it.
I mean, that's why I love it when Travis comes in, because it always ends up like...
Yeah, but that's the thing, as I like it, just... And like I said, especially when like this bit of the game I felt was the weakest, so... I really wasn't paying attention to what he's about to send out.
Something.
Sending out my spider. But yeah, yeah, I mean, that's the best bit. I mean, I'm trying to think, what did I... Oh, that's what I did get a lot of when I was young. I got a fair... Well, not maybe a lot, but I got a few Transformers toys. Okay, sending out my spider was a mistake. So I had a few Transformers. Don't think I still have many of them. And whatnot, because young me was very, very abusive to toys. As we've established. Because science.
I mean, in all fairness, I still have my Doctor Who figures, but anything that I had that was like Barbies or Brats, I pulled off all of their heads and shaved their heads. And also, like, they have missing feet, legs, arms.
This is not good right now. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of what other bits were there, but like some of my because GoBots, I'm not familiar with that. Yeah, I'm not familiar on that. But what I did with some figures, or some of the Transformers and whatnot, was I remember because of in school. I don't know if you did this in America, but you did like parachutes. Yeah, you'd make parachutes out of bits of like left by using like a bag or something.
My childhood sucked at school then. We didn't do that, we just played helicopters.
Yeah, well, I decided to keep doing it at home and strap like bits of plastic to my Transformers and throw them out of a window. Bear in mind, like this, the house I lived in at the time, while it was only ground floor, first floor, and then technically a loft, I couldn't get up in the loft. The back was like had a big drop, had like another half floor drop out of it, and that was the window I threw it out, so it had the longest distance to fall.
I mean, in all fairness, that is thinking the best of, if I'm going to test this out, how far is this going to travel, what window am I going to throw out of? You're going to honestly throw out the biggest one that takes the longest while.
Yeah, but unfortunately it did mean a lot of them broke. Because, yeah.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I had a habit of breaking certain things with stupidity. Also, the amount of time Lego would end up being in the airing cupboard, drying off after I tried building something and trying to get it to float. Because for a long time I never had one of those Lego boats that could float.
Oh my god. In all fairness, I think some people have done that in their lives.
Yeah.
I think my cousins did.
And I kept getting annoyed that I couldn't get the Lego to not leak.
Oh, Yummy.
Yeah. Oh, there's a market near where I live that is constantly in trouble for selling knockoff things. So, like, it's often in the paper that, like the trading standards have raided it again. Though ironically, one time we did get like I was given one thing that was bought there, which was, well, what looked like a Megazord. Yet it wasn't obviously labelled up as Power Rangers or anything. Many years later, when I was actually then aware of, when I sort of became aware of Super Sentai's existence and whatnot, turned out that this toy, which was a fairly cheap thing that broke pretty quick, which while itself was clearly obviously then a knockoff, it was based on a pre-Power Ranger era Megazord. So technically it was a legit thing from the Sentai, but the packaging was all in English and whatnot, and I remember the packaging did not say Super Sentai or anything. But it was kind of interesting. It was Maskman, the Megazord from that. But yeah. Yep. Oh, there's all sorts of things. Now I remember like as well at one point, like another knockoff game that was made was for the Game Boy. There was this Pokemon, well, what looked like a Pokemon game, and yeah, it was this terrible non-Pokemon game platformer thing, which yeah, it looked like they'd mixed Pokemon and the Smurfs together. It was weird. Yeah. Well, it was more based off of what was it? Tamagotchi. Digimon were attempts to try and get try and appeal to more of the male audience, because obviously like in Japan, Tamagotchis were only sort of, even though obviously it was marketed to both guys and girls, it was sort of only really like females that were buying them. So they wanted to try and try and catch the other gender's attention. So I mean, technically Tamagotchi is older, so but yeah.
I love Tamagotchi when I was a kid.
So yeah, I did buy the anniversary edition Digivice a few years, those few years ago. Oh yeah, they definitely were good to buy that. I mean, bear it in, like, Pokemon is like the driving force of Nintendo's handheld side of the market, so yeah, it's yeah, I mean I wonder, going back one console to the Wii U, if they'd released like some major Pokemon thing on the Wii U, whether it would have boosted the Wii U a lot. Because the ironic thing is, like, 3DS. Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 came out just as a regular DS game, and yet the 3DS existed at that point. And yeah, it was selling okay, but it wasn't until X and Y that the 3DS's sales skyrocketed. So yeah. Yeah, I do think there is like a... Yeah, that's fine, Travis. You take care out there. Especially with everything that is going on in America at the moment, so... I'll catch you next time.
Yeah, it's okay, dude.
And yeah, anyway, we're champions now.
Woohoo!
So, I do like how they do get these Pokemon to do like the ending music.
Yeah,
We have enough Yeah. So yeah, we have enough. They've got Pokemon to make a rock band now.
Yeah.
Which is obviously probably why they made Piers like a rock music person.
I'd say more metal, to be honest.
But but still, like they theme Piers off this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh man. Now I can retire and go and become a Wooloo farmer.
Woohoo!
Which is my dream. I didn't want to go and be champion. Everyone just forced me into it. I just want to have some land and have all the Wooloos and run a Wooloo rescue sanctuary farm thing.
Still hops Wooloo when he's not looking.
Oh no, it'll just run away and come by itself. Don't need to steal it. It'll just be like, advertise on TV. Wooloos of the world, come here, you'll be loved. Look at all the happy Wooloos behind me and just have them. Yeah, Toby Fox in the credits there for sound.
Aw,
Even though we haven't heard the track yet.
that is true.
I hope they got him back for the DLC. So yeah, tomorrow, by the way, people, there is a thing happening for the DLC. Well, they say 1 o'clock UTC, so that'll be 2 o'clock for us. Well, remember, UTC is with no time zone modifiers.
Yeah.
And because we're on +1 at the moment for summertime, be 2 o'clock. But yeah, I really want them to be in the... I'm hoping it maybe ends up as a direct. It probably is going to be a direct. But I want them to be like, yeah, we got Toby Fox back because we knew how much you loved his work.
I kind of hope it's a direct.
Well, it may not be a direct, one of the Pokemon Direct things, but I'm expecting maybe a video presentation of some sort. So anyway, I guess, yeah, it would still be a... it would still be a direct, but, just... Obviously, maybe working is just a tiny bit different to maybe how they normally do it because of everything going on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for it. I won't lie about it.
I know I want. So I just want to check one of the credits. I'm certain because when it said because Pikachu and Eevee have got actual voice actors in this, and I was certain I recognise Eevee's voice actress, Aoi Yuki. Oh, she does Sue in My Hero. That's probably why.
Ah, yes.
Yay, Wooloos! I just love that one at the end. Just going down. So I'm certain there might have been something else. So yeah, the opening also updates, by the way. So now it will when you get far enough in the opening, there we go. It shows the team you beat the championship with.
Yep.
Which is a cool nod. I mean, I've never done the repeat challenges, but I'm assuming it probably updates based on that. Oh, she does Yuki in Sword Art Online.
Oh.
Is it Finch in Xenoblade 2?
No way, nice.
Yeah, so I'm now stuck with... she does Pascal in the Nier Automata.
Ah.
Sorry, I am really... Oh! That might be why I'm now familiar. Kamen Rider Ghost. She was Urasine, which is this little ghost buddy that was around.
Yeah.
Which, spoiler here, in the finale, it was revealed it's a ghost of a cat. But it could speak human as the ghost. When it was back as a cat, it was, a cat. But yeah, it was brilliant, that reveal in the finale. That the entire time it had been a cat.
That's cute.
Oh! Hibiki in Symphogear.
No way!
Because I was trying to think. I was looking on my phone because I know I had the name written down on one of the tracks, and because I've still just been scrolling through IMDb where it is. So that will be why I know I've got it on one of the tracks, because it will be on Radiant Force.
Yes.
Because it's all three of them.
It is.
So yeah. Sorry, I just want to keep reading through on this. Because there isn't really too much left to do. I mean, I'm actually going to show one place off, I think.
It's a certain tower, isn't it?
Yeah. Hi, Magnolia. Oh, she was Iris in Pokemon anime. So her relationship with the Pokemon franchise goes back a bit further. I'm only back to 2010 at the minute. She's done voice acting in so many things. Oh. So she was in an earlier Kamen Rider series as a young version of one of the main characters.
Yeah.
That was back in 2003. But her very first role in a show was on Super Sentai in Gingaman playing a random girl. And that was back in 1998.
Blimey.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, you know what I cannot now get out of my head? Next season of My Hero, I am not going to be able to see Sue and not want her to start punching and kicking things while singing.
Shortening a mountain.
Yeah. For anyone who has not watched Symphogear, go check it out. I will admit season 1 can be a bit rough, but it is awesome, the anime. It's on Crunchyroll, all the seasons.
Yeah.
The name does change a bit with each season, but all seasons are there. It is brilliant.
It is.
They got some really good voice talent on that thing.
The songs are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And story of how I found the anime. Well, I say found it. I was just looking on one of the normal websites I check on. I saw the name, Sekai Seisoku Symphogear. I misread the Seisoku part as Sentai. No, that's the second part. The first word, sorry, the Setoku, or if you never pronounce it, I can't say it. But I misread that bit as Sentai, so I thought it was an anime Super Sentai thing. Best mistake I ever made.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a pity that there was just always big gaps of a really long time between seasons.
Whereas I was able to watch it in full.
Yeah. Well, because I came in just after season 2 was ending. So, like, I'm trying to see. Yeah, so season 2 was 2013. And bear in mind, they only finished earlier in the year. Or late last year or something like that. But yeah, because in season 3 was 2015. So then they got a bit longer, because the last season just ended up in so much production trouble. Anyway, I just want to show something. Got a can fly there. So, oh yeah, I never went to find that trade that exists. Let's check out if there's any new items spawn around here. I guess I could show off one battle in a quick bit of the battle. The map kind of says what it is now, so yeah, welcome to the battle tower. So we talk to this person. And yeah, we get a type null just given to us. This was the one Pokemon that we couldn't obtain at this point, outside of legendaries. So put it in the PC. I'll friendship evolve that later. And we got that. Oh yeah, so this is helpful. They come with pre-rental teams now. Want the skill team, I believe. Yep. That's the one I wanted. Because... No, yeah, the hyper training. Edge. Not what I'm looking for. Not what I'm looking for. Wait. Trying to think. All the memories. And there we go. One, two, three, four, five. So yeah, I'm missing some TM still. Anyway, save quickly and then we'll do a battle tower bit. And then we can let the best music in the game play. Just a battle. So we want to do a single. Wait, I thought I said I'd rent the team. Hey? Wait, what? Oh, there it is. I was going to say, because I forgot you had to scroll all the way through to it. I thought it was always right up at the start. So yeah, I want the skill team. So we then want Duraludon. I always then take Gyarados, so most people say use Phalanx. And then you also want then Grimmsnarl. So, go. Yeah, best music in the game. Okay, so we've got Noivern. So, put Stealth Rock out. Go. Noivern, you want light screen? Then reflect. Interesting, you're just focused on completely destroying my evasiveness. Oh wow, it gets rid of my things. Okay, so I'm gonna have to use this up now. I did not want to Dynamax now. I just caught on to that. I forgot defog clears hazards and whatnot. Mostly because I kind of forgot defog was useful outside of a mechanic that's not in this game. Well, that's most of Noivern's health just gone. Oh, pulling him out. Kingler, oh boy. For not very effective, it's still very effective. Damn it, protected. Oh yeah, because it breaks through protect. Of course it still manages to survive. Let's get that stealth rock back in play. That still mess up Noivern when it comes back out. Take the recoil. Of course you're going to do that now. Jeez, just take so much recoil damage just because of... There goes the Ralladon out as well. Couldn't exactly get the combo in play that you're meant to do. Send a Gyarados. Oh yes. Good choice, good choice. Waterfall. Oh what, you have an Electrode Ball? Okay, not as much damage. Oh, there's the berry. Yep, and that's why you still have one Stealth Rock set up. And then Noivern comes back out. And KO'd by the Stealth Rock. Ooh. So one down. Yep, we'll do battle number 2 because you do the fights in pairs, so. Squirrel. So he has it on his shirt. Draco's ult. Okay. Stealth Rock. And then reflect. Just hammer it. Normally I'm more cautious in the battle tower when I'm Dynamax. But, yeah. Oh no! That's nowhere near enough damage. I was really hoping it would do more damage than that. Especially after like last. Oh yeah, that's better. Oh, that's a crit, that's why. Maybe I got a crit on the Kingler and I didn't realise it. Oh. Anyway, it's gone. Challange. Okay. Reflect. Oh, reflect wasn't up yet. Light screen up. Steel beam. Oh well, time to say goodbye to Duraludon. Ooh, that just utterly destroyed them. Crodant. Yeah. Thank you, Duraludon. You've been a good buddy. Half of Crawdant's health is gone. That sets us up in a good place. Oh wow, it has leftovers. Flex worn out. Right. Yeah, Grim Snarl. And then Spirit Break. There we go. Get a rare candy. And some more battle points. Right, so this is where I'm going to save and call it a day. So next time we'll continue with a little bit more in the battle tower because there's something I want to get to, which is very, very important.
It is.
And then we can deal with the post game. And so what, 1 week to next week? So we might be able to go straight into the DLC. I know we talked about that last week, but I'm just thinking through.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have to fill in for 1 week, but that's not so bad. Sorry. But yeah, so we're working out pretty well. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with Batman. No comment from Susie, okay. Wednesday's stream. Going to take a look at a game that did come out last week, which Susie can join in as well.
Oh.
It's on your Switch.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, because Alex is going to join in, so...
Okay, sweet, yeah.
Yeah, although Alex has said he's going to be OP, but hey, I don't care. We can get some good stuff if he's with us. Because then we can play on the higher difficulty settings.
Sweet. I'm glad about that, because right now I currently have some crap things on me.
Yeah, well, I'll be hosting, so... But yeah, so we'll do that Wednesday. Thursday, we go back to the world of the Bionis and Mechonis.
Yes!
As we play through the main game again. Just enjoy the update on it and see if they did throw us some teases in to do with Xenoblade 2 because we want to see if they did do something. So, yeah, look forward to that. And then Friday we'll have more Skyward Sword. I believe we are doing Imprisoned Friday, won't we?
No.
Wait, when was the first Imprisoned fight?
I really do not remember.
Because I'm certain that I did the first Imprisoned fight. Oh well. Anyway, so yeah, follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, and we'll catch you next time. Good night.